Welcome back to Music and Mind, the interview series where I, Adam Ficek, speak with leading musicians about the intersection of music and mental health. Today, I'm joined by Emma Noble. Hi, Emma.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Very well. What are you up to musically at the moment?
Musically, I'm actually really busy with the DJing stuff at the moment. Last year was kind of busy getting my band together and trying to get some live gigs and stuff booked in. And I did a few of them last year, but then realised I was kind of so busy doing so many things that I wasn't having time to just stop and doing writing. And I was kind of just doing gigs and performing the same stuff. So I've like put the live shows on hold for a little bit, and then the summer's always really busy for me for DJ gigs. So I'm just kind of enjoying the summer doing the DJ stuff. And then once the summer's over, hoping to like put some time aside to get back into the studio doing some writing and things.
Brilliant. What do you enjoy most about all of that musicking together?
Well, I like it all for different reasons, really. I mean, the DJ side of stuff, I find I can enjoy that naturally a lot more. Whereas the live music side of stuff, I do get terribly nervous before gigs. I'm a very like harsh critic of myself. So I always worry in the build up to it. And then when I do the gig, I come off thinking about everything that I did wrong rather than everything that went well. So that stresses me out. So but then at the same time, you know, I get a lot of satisfaction and reward from when I've put the effort into putting a show together and then we finally do it. And it's like, you still got that, oh, it's done now, I can relax for a bit. But then for weeks after, I'm still thinking about all those little things that I could have done better, which is frustrating. So but I'm still learning. I'm relatively new to the live kind of being a solo singer-songwriter and doing the live shows. So I think it's one of those matters of practice makes perfect. And hopefully the more I do of it, I'll get a little bit more confident. And so, yeah, I get satisfaction and reward from when I've finished and come off stage and gone, okay, you've done it, don't worry. When I'm doing the live stuff, but then, yeah, the DJ stuff, I just go in and I just enjoy it every single time. I never get any worries or fear for that. I just absolutely love it. So I kind of, I like them both for different reasons, really.
Sounds like you feel less exposed DJing.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is because when you're doing your own music, as you know, it's like, it's your art that you're sharing and it's coming from you and your mouth. So it's like, I guess you're more vulnerable when you're doing your music, aren't you? Whereas when you're DJ and you're just playing out other artists' music, so it's not about you, it's about the music. Whereas the music is like all eyes on you. So they're quite different ways of performing, aren't they?
And I've always felt there is, for me, I guess, almost hiding behind a set of decks, as it were. There is less exposure, but there's also a lot of pressure because there's a lot of people almost ready to either dance or to dismount the dance floor. Yeah.
But I think with DJing, people are there. They're all, I guess, like DJing, people are there just like, we're here and we're going to dance. We're here to dance, have a good time. It's a different type of audience. Whereas a gig with live music is they're coming to watch, like eyes are on you. And so it's a little bit more focused, isn't it? A live show.
Do you feel vulnerable also because it's your stuff and you were saying about writing earlier? Do you produce your own stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, you know, you're putting your words and your feelings and things out there and for people to hear. But it's, you know, when you're performing live, it can so easily quickly go wrong. Like the other day I did a gig and at the end I performed a new song and at the end I just forgot the last bit of the song and the band carried on playing. And I'm like, I noticed it, but a lot of people would have probably just thought, oh, it's just part of it. They're just ending on an instrumental. But I was like, my mind just went, I was like, I can't remember what the end of the song is. But it was like, fine. But it's like, then that just sticks with me for ages. It's like, how did you manage to forget the end bit of the song? But it's things can go wrong, but then when it goes right, it's brilliant, isn't it?
And how important is your writing to you, like emotionally, psychologically? Do you use it as a resource or is it just something you do?
Not so much as a resource, no, but I a lot of my songs, I've always tried to, everything I write about comes from something that has happened, whether it be, you know, a funny story or a funny character I've met or a habit I have or something like that. So, but I haven't at the moment written too many songs where I'm kind of wearing my heart on my sleeve, but I have got a couple of songs I'm in the pipeline at the moment where I am going to try and kind of approach that area a little bit more, where I'm singing a little bit more about my feelings or about how someone might have made me feel. So yeah, that's kind of on the cards for me. I want to kind of start exploring that a little bit with some new stuff I'm going to do.
Does that feel scary to go closer to kind of personal material?
It does, yeah. But I think I'm still, I think maybe I'm not so good at like letting my barriers down and singing about the things that are deeply like in my heart. Even with stuff I'm writing or I've got in the pipeline to write, it's more about kind of other people that have done something to kind of affect me. And so it's not so much about me, it's then about someone else. I don't know. It's, yeah, maybe I find sometimes perhaps I do put my barriers up a little bit when it comes to letting my full emotions out with my writing.
Yeah, and I was thinking also, you've been a woman in the industry. What's that like for you? Positive, negative aspects of that? Or
I mean, I haven't noticed really any kind of negatives from it. I think I've been lucky that the people that have helped me or believed in me and given me the opportunity to do some of my own music are just forward-thinking people that can, you know that female musicians can write just as well as male musicians. So I haven't noticed, but I can, you know, in the DJ scene, there's a huge lack of female DJs, especially in the soul scene. I think but I can definitely see a change, and there's a lot more female and young female DJs coming through, which is really nice to see. For example, I went to the last Glastonbury this year, and one thing I noticed was so many young female DJs on the bill, which I really, really noticed. As I actually said to the people I was with, it's like so nice to see that, because that previously it was just like a lot of male DJs. So yeah, that's good. I think people are, you know, the industry's trying to be better at making it more inclusive for women as well.
Yeah,
but there's still a lot to be done, I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting time, isn't it? I agree.
Yeah,
what's to be done, and there is a shift, cultural shift. What about kind of growing up? How important was music to you growing up, identity wise, emotionally, any of those aspects?
Yeah, I mean, music's always been a huge part of my life, just from a very young age. I've just always loved music. I was lucky that my kind of parents were into music, but they never like made us listen to it. They always had a record player and music playing in the house. You know, my dad loved trad jazz, so that was always playing. They also loved all the Motown stuff, or, you know, Rolling Stones, the Beatles, all you know, your cult classics that you should have in the household. We were lucky enough to have that, and I've got 4 brothers and 1 sister, and I'm the youngest, so they would always be in their rooms playing music. So I would kind of be listening and subconsciously learning from them as well. Yeah, but I think I noticed, I mean, I've always loved music from a very, very young age. And then as I got to about 15, 16, I started noticing that I particularly loved soul music. That's what I would just always find myself going to. It just kind of ticked all the boxes for me. And then when I moved to London to study, I kind of have just delved myself really deep into the amazing music scene here, whether it be going to live music or club nights and things like that, and particularly like kind of soul nights. And it was there that my love just grew and grew and grew for it. So yeah, I think music was always there and in the household, and it was never forced upon me. I just kind of just naturally went in and then slowly started falling in love with it, really.
Yeah. What is it do you think about that soul stuff?
I don't know. I always find the science of that. Maybe you've got an answer for this with your psychology stuff, but I always find it absolutely fascinating how different brains can like different type of music. So like how someone can go to like a heavy metal concert and that speaks to them and makes their heart go, yeah, that's for me. Whereas I'll go to a soul thing and be like, oh God, yeah, that's for me. Whereas put me in like a hardcore heavy metal or like a techno night, I'd be like, I do not know how you can listen to this and enjoy it. But everyone does, and everyone likes their own thing. And I just find it incredibly interesting how all our different brains are wired to be able to get such enjoyment from such different types of music. Do you know the answer to that?
My favourite production, i.e. the sound, is 67 to probably capping at 70. There's something about that soul that is really alluring for me. And of course, that comes down to probably the simplistic harmony, the arrangements, not so much the lyrics. I'm not really a lyric person, but for me, it's the production, a lot of the production and the drums, being a drummer and attuning to, I think there's a very real, visceral human element in that particular type of music.
Yeah.
But it might be. What kind of things do you think it is for you? Lyrics, melody, harmony?
Yeah, for me, I think that everything goes hand in hand. The 60s and 70s for me are the years that for me are everything that I love. And not only do I like the music, but I love the aesthetic that went with it. So for me, it's like when I'm listening to that music, you also get these visuals in your head. And I think that plays a big part. But yeah, it's the recording, it's all a bit rough around the edges. It's just soulful. It's heartfelt. I think people wrote differently then. People wrote with purpose and from their hearts a lot more, I think. But yeah, just like the beauty of just everything, real instruments making real raw sounds with little mistakes here and there. You know, I think for me that's what's beautiful about soul music. I think nowadays the production of stuff, everything's so clean and perfect. Half of it's done by the computer, and that just doesn't speak to me at all.
Yeah, and also the way it's presented. You know, we're talking really about records, and I've done a lot of DJing digitally for a while. Hard drives are great, but there's something that dilutes the experience. And now I've started to buy records again, and you know, whatever, 10, 20, 30 quid, and you get this 1 or 2 tracks, and it's really prized. It's a different experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's also, it's like I guess the industry is so different now as well to what it was back then. The way that people listen to music is very different now, isn't it? You know, we have all these streaming platforms, and a lot of music is written to tick these like boxes, for whether it be streaming, like make the introduction has to get you within 3 seconds, or there's someone will skip, or you know, it has to have this and this and this so that it gets playlisted and and so people are writing for the digital platforms rather than writing for themselves, I find. And it's like that then strips a lot out of what would probably someone would have written a song back in the olden days, which is like, we're just writing this because we like it and it sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what you're saying also about the aesthetics, and also that leans into the identity in the community. Do you think that's an important part of the culture that you're immersed in?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think one of the reasons as well, like I was saying, when I first moved to London, I started going to soul nights because I was new to it was quite scary. I'd come from a small little village in Hythe, grew up on a farm, and then suddenly in this massive city in London, didn't know anyone. All I knew at that point about me and myself and my identity was that I loved music, particularly 60s and 70s soul music. So I was like, well, how can I need to meet like-minded people. So for me, I used going out and going to these nights as a tool to try and meet new friends and like-minded people who hopefully then I can start socializing with, and who will want to be doing the same things as me. And that absolutely worked, because those people that I met at those nights, sometimes I'd go completely on my own as well, which is like, I'm so scared, but you know, particularly in the soul scene, people are always so warm and welcoming that someone would be like, oh, do you want to sit down? Next thing you know, you're around talking to a few people, and you go the next time and they introduced you to someone else, and then you go the next time, and just keeps growing. And I think, like I said, some of those people that I met at those soul nights and on the soul scene, the early days, have now become some of my best friends. So I think music plays such an important role in connecting people and connecting friendships. I think, it's now I look at my kind of circle of friends in London, and I'd say 80 or 90% of my best friends, all the people that I hang around with in London, are people that I've met on the music scene. Because then once you've met them, you meet up, you talk about music, and they're just people you want to hang around with, because you want to talk about all that stuff, don't you? And nothing better than going down the pub, having a pint and just talking about music. I think one bad side probably for me is the partying and the boozing that comes with it. I do like to have a bit of a party and a bit of a booze up. But I think people often say to me, would you like to, because I'm a graphic designer by trade, that's what I do for my day job. And then I do the DJing, and my music stuff is like my passion projects, really. People always say to me, would you like to ideally stop doing your design and move over to completely doing DJing and music? And I actually say, no, I wouldn't, because I think it would become unhealthy for me, because with DJing comes late nights, lots of drinking, with the live music, not so much. Like, I only have a couple of beers before I go on, because if I drink too much before I do a performance, I worry I'm going to forget things. But then I'll have quite a few when I get off to be like, "Hooray, we've done it!" So I think the negatives is what comes with it. Obviously, it's great fun, but you've just got to be careful not to sign up to so much that you're just living a constant life of like waking up, oh, I've got to go and do it again, just going out DJing, drinking, waking up, oh, I've got to go and do it again. So I think we've kind of found a balance with, it's about what you say yes and no to, I think, as well. Like when we first started DJing, particularly, we were just saying yes to everything because we were so excited. So, we wanted to be doing it, but we're probably tiring ourselves out quite a lot. But as the more years we've done it, and kind of we've learned, we only say yes to the stuff that we want to be doing. So then I think that helps, because you're not burning yourself out, I guess. But it's just finding the balance, of making sure you're doing your job, but you're not, when to like call it a day, I guess.
Yeah, sounds like you found a good balance there.
Yeah, I hope so. I could probably be a bit better at it, if I'm honest. But my DJ partner, Sophie, when we're together, she's quite good, because she's like, "Come on, Emma, time to go," and I'm like, "One more." But it's like, yeah, we're good. We make a good partner, because I guess we balance each other out. We both have qualities that's like, we keep each other grounded, I suppose.
Would it change if you're doing it sober?
I have done gigs. I do gigs and DJs sober sometimes, but for me, like, I just enjoy having a drink when I'm doing it. I like to feel, for me, when I'm DJing, if I'm having a drink, I feel like I'm part of the night out as well, if you know what I mean. But yeah, like I do, yeah, for me, it goes hand in hand. Like if I'm DJing, I'll have a couple of beers whilst I'm doing it. For me, that kind of, gets me in the zone a bit. But, I guess that's another thing. You've got to be careful, not when you're doing these, not to then feel like you need to rely on having, drinks to be able to do what you're doing.
Yeah, it sounds like you're able to balance that. And I think you're right. I think it is such an intrinsic part of that scene. And probably that's what makes it a scene in that way.
Yeah.
Balance. What about if we were to kind of encapsulate, what's the best thing, or do you enjoy most through all of your music stuff?
Good question. I like them all. I like it all for different reasons. I like the challenge of, when it comes to writing music, I like the challenge of sitting down, trying to come up with something that then turns into a finished product and a song, and then that being put out into the world, and like hearing it on the radio. Nothing quite beats that feeling of when a song that you have written gets played on BBC Six Music or BBC Radio 2, and it's like, wow. Like for me, that's a beautiful feeling, and I think anyone that does music would probably agree that feeling never gets old. And I love as well, like one thing I do with all my music is I always press my songs onto vinyl, and that gives me a lot of satisfaction, like when they arrive and I've got this physical thing with my music on. And just, you know, like going back to the streaming, like so many people and artists now are striving for this. Oh, we want to get 500,000 streams or 1 million streams. That doesn't bother me. I get so much more satisfaction from pressing 500 vinyls and them selling out. Like that, for me, that's like lovely. And I couldn't be fussed about the streams and all that. It's like, for me, that's, I think, people that take the time to buy a vinyl and have that as a thing. I think that's lovely. I mean, I'm a record collector myself, so maybe I'm biased, but that I always love that. And it's wonderful seeing the people, how far your music has spread. Like when you get orders through, and you got some in Japan, and you got some in Germany, you got some in Australia, you got some in New Zealand. It's like, how do these people find out about you? Do you know what I mean? I find that lovely. And I guess it's just also the people you meet. I think it's amazing. Like I said, I've met some of my most favourite people on the music and the soul scene, which I'm very thankful for. And would I have met them without music? Maybe not.
What about the other side of that? Do you then feel pressure to deliver to this fan base?
Yeah, absolutely. Like going back to that thing I was saying earlier, where I'm like I'm my own harshest critic. I kind of, again, before a song is released, the build up to it, I'm always like getting myself in a right state, being like, oh, it's rubbish, no one's going to like it. So that's the bit that I don't enjoy, is the worry that I always have before a gig or before a release, and the kind of the constant doubt that whether it's going to be all right or not. But again, I think it's a practice makes perfect thing, and hopefully the more I do, that will slowly start to go away. But I think, as you probably know as well, that for every song you do, you learn something from that, or the way you release it, or whatever. And like I learn something each time, and I try to then take that and implement that and learn from it with the next release that I do. So
I think we learn about ourselves, we learn about other people, and we learn about the music itself. So it's great stuff. Thank you very much for your time here as we come to a close. Is there anything you want to add?
I don't think so, no. But I think it's great what you guys are doing at Tonic. I think it's really important for like you say, it's the music industry it's a wonderful place, but it can be a very unhealthy place when you find yourself in the wrong part of it. So I think it's great that what Tonic are doing, and kind of talking about all that and giving people a platform to talk about it.
That was the marvellous Emma Noble. Thanks for listening to Music and Mind with me, Adam Ficek. Make sure you check out the Tonic Music website for free groups, workshops and courses for musicians, music fans and all those working in the industry.